Hey y'all, it's Cara DeLynn, and I'm back with Mr. Cara DeLynn. This is my husband, Jason, and I thought it might be nice, and Lucy, thought it might be nice to maybe just talk to him about what life is like for him, being married to such a fabulous reseller, and the challenges maybe that the spouse has to go through to support their significant other through those growths and changes of the business. So I'm going to turn it over to him, let him introduce himself and tell us a little about what he does.
I'm Jason, and I support Cara DeLynn, professional reseller.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse. Okay. Awesome. It's a scary time right now to be a nurse. Definitely needed more now than ever before. And what area do you work in?
Pediatric neonatal critical care transport flight team.
Awesome. In a larger city.
Yes.
Yeah. We won't say specifically where, but it is
A hotbed of COVID.
Yes, and it's actually a couple of hours away from us, so he does travel to work, and that has its own challenges, especially with a big household with a lot of kids and busy kids usually when we can leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we make it work.
Yep.
So tell the people at home a little bit about how we met. We've been married almost 5 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we're still newlyweds, right? Can we
Mm-hmm.
say that? So tell them how we met.
We've known each other since we were little kids, and our families have always been close, and we grew up in the same church. And her grandma and my mom have taught the same Bible study for like 30 years. So I was, 6 years older? So we didn't really run together when we were kids or anything, but kept in touch here and there, and we would see each other at music shows and local band events and things like that, because I played in some bands and she had boyfriends and whatnot that played in bands, and she was a bar regular.
Oh, shut up. I was not. I was married. My kid's dad, he was a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason's a drummer, so apparently I really like drummers.
We got rhythm.
Okay. Good to know.
And yeah, and then we both found ourselves single at the same time, and I asked you for coffee. You said make it dinner, and that was that.
I like to eat. You know.
Don't we all?
I don't want to misrepresent myself. Like, I like coffee. Don't get me wrong. I've got my coffee right here, but girl needs nourishment.
That's right. Took you out for salmon. You had salmon at a restaurant close to us.
And in true Cara DeLynn fashion, I spilled it on myself.
You did. You wear everything you eat.
Get used to it.
I'm used to it.
Love it or leave it. I don't care. Sometimes I just carry it on my shelf.
That's right.
Snack later on. You don't know. What do you think about reselling and the things that I do related to?
It's not my thing, but you do a lot to help out. Any family that's got 4 kids at home, 5 kids total. We're Brady bunched, so I have 3 and she has 2, and so we have 5 together. And then you do a lot to help out. And like at first, it wasn't so much. But it's turned out to be quite a big help and a relief off somebody who's a single breadwinner that has to, feels the responsibility of providing for everybody. You've done a lot to help out. Plus, with being able to find bargains and stuff like that to be able to supply the house, and then being able to find enough stuff that you can flip and make money on, it takes a lot of pressure off me to be able to cover all the bills and cover everything. And at first it started out, it was like a little bit of play money here and there and whatnot, but then it ended up getting to where you're like, oh, bills are already covered and this is already good. So now we were able to save, and we're able to, put a good chunk back, and like we get our, tax return and do nothing but put it away. We just set it back and just don't touch it. So that's been good, because kids are expensive.
Kids are expensive, and ours are especially expensive. They've got expensive taste, and they like to go and do, and I'm big on experiences.
Yep.
Jason will tell you, I don't love spending money on items. That's why I think I'm so cheap when it comes to just buying stuff from the store, because I'm like, it's just stuff. But if we're gonna put any money into anything, I like it to be experiences. I like it to be vacations, or trying different food that they've never tried before, or buying things like the ping pong table, stuff like that, just activities for the family. That's really, really important to me, because I think those are the things that they'll take with them. They're not necessarily going to say, man, I had all the best toys, or I had all the best video games. They're going to be like, oh, remember that time we went to the Outer Banks?
And that's what they talk about all the time. It's like they'll talk about a week we spent at the Outer Banks for years, but they don't remember what they got for Christmas last year. So that I completely support that, and it's all about experiences, and what's kind of odd. I just thought of it with reselling. I kind of grew up in a reseller household.
Yes.
My dad's been a reseller and a dealer, and vehicles and firearms, and we grew up poor. I didn't know it. But we grew up on a farm, and like we dealt in livestock and this, that, and the other. And they would teach us to, we would save up enough money to put down on like a hog, and then we would have to do the feeding and all that kind of stuff. We would put down a little piece of money, but it's a lot when you're a little kid. You got to save up $25 to get a hog. But then you got to feed it and do all that kind of stuff. And we named our hogs like, bacon and sausage. Our parents were, this is not a pet. This is, this is what this is for. And so we would either raise them up to slaughter, or we would raise them up for, to have babies, and then we would sell the babies. So, and then,
You're like the hog king.
I'm the hog king. I need a lame shirt, gold lame shirt or something like that. Be a hog king. I don't know. But Dad constantly dealt, and that's what kept us afloat. He was dealing in pretty much anything. He would a lot of firearms, still deals in firearms and hunting equipment, and bows and all that kind of stuff. And then he can deal in cars and all kinds of stuff. So he kept us afloat doing that, because when I was young, he was working for UPS like all day long, would do a 12-hour shift at UPS, driving a truck, and then would go to college at Ivy Tech and took the building trades program. And then he ended up, time went on, he went on to teach at the building trades program, and then he ended up heading up the building trades program for Ivy Tech. And then he taught at Jeff High, and he taught some other places, building trades, until he finally had to retire. But he kept us afloat. I mean, I remember that, and it was kind of like the experiences. We always had food on the table, so I didn't know we were poor. Obviously, I didn't go hungry. But we would take the aluminum siding off the house one time, and we sold all that for scrap off the farmhouse, and we used that to go to Kings Island. So it was kind of the same thing that we do, that my parents did. It was experiences, and they didn't just, buy more stuff. It was, let's go to Kings Island. That was our opportunity to do that. And we did that through flipping.
And back when his dad was really doing a lot of the flipping, that was before the internet, obviously. And that would be postings in like a trading magazine. There would be like a Auto Trader, things like that. And wasn't there a time when you had someone from Ohio come in?
Oh my God. I was a little kid, and not so much a little kid. I was a teenager, and that's when I was getting into drums, and I decided I needed money to buy a drum kit. There's no jobs out there besides hanging tobacco, and that's at one part, one little portion of the year. So I was going to sell my Star Wars stuff. All
What
of
year?
my Star Wars stuff.
What year was this?
This would have been 87, 86, 87, something like that. And a guy came, I listed everything I had, which was like the original Death Star playset that nobody knows about. It had an elevator and everything in multiple levels. Millennium Falcon, I had the indoor playset, I had Dagobah, I had everything, and everything was complete. And I think I sold it for like $60, everything. And a guy drove from Ohio, and I had it posted in like this little paper. He drove from Ohio and was like, "Yeah, I'll give you $60 for all of this."
Oh,
Sure.
wow.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of crap by now, probably.
Yeah, but you had no idea. Yeah.
Dumb kid.
Wow. And actually, something that Jason does for me is when he has a little bit of downtime, not anymore that everything's shut down, but he'll say, "I'm going to the bins." And this is back before there were local bins. And he would go and he would source things and find things and text me pictures. I found this. You found like a collector's set, DVD set.
Oh yeah, Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp, and that went for 60?
60, 70, something like that.
Yeah. And, you paid whatever the weight was, right?
Yeah, like $1, maybe $2.
Yeah. So he's gotten really good. In the beginning, we were just grabbing anything that we thought we could sell. So we ended up with camping backpacks, like hiking backpacks, and they were nice brands, Cotopaxi and LL Bean, but they had the internal frames.
Yep.
Then
legit hiking,
camping, like
backpacks.
Seriously, if you're gonna go mountain climbing or something, you would have this big hiking backpack. And we didn't realize how much shipping would be. This is when we were newbies in it, and how difficult it was going to be to ship these things. So we ended up selling them locally, which worked out well. Same way with golf bags and things like that.
Yep.
I mean, you can sell them and you can ship them, but it's not going to fit in a little bitty,
You're not going to make enough on it to mess with it. Just don't even bother.
Unless it's, some very rare kind. But we were just grabbing, whatever we could. We thought had a nice brand name in the beginning. So we've learned quite a bit from there. What is something that I have purchased that you thought there's no way that's going to sell, or no one's going to buy that, and then you were surprised?
That couch.
That
couch you talked about in your first video. I had to get a trailer and go and pick this thing up probably 35 minutes away from our house one way, and load it up, strap it down, and bring it back. And I was just like, all right, I don't want this sitting in my garage forever. And she was like, no, babe, this thing's got horsehair. And I'm like, gross, why would anybody want that? And then she sold it for $2,500, and somebody came and wrapped it up and sealed this and taped this. They were out there for like an hour sealing this thing up because they're like, oh God, you can keep it preserved. And they took it to Washington or something. I don't know where.
Kansas.
Kansas.
It ended up in Kansas, and probably I priced it too low. When I looked at some of the other comps, I didn't know a lot back then.
We did fine.
Yeah, we did. We absolutely did fine. But I think the lowest price that I saw was around $5,000. So whoever bought it in Kansas felt like they got a great deal. And I remember being in the car when I got that email, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No, that couch sold.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah. And another lesson on that, the Cherish website where I sold that, I priced it at $2,499. If I would have priced it at $2,501, the commission that the website took would have been less, like $400, $600. Yeah. So a $2 price, error on my part cost me several $100s.
Research
Yeah.
everything.
Research and make sure you really understand what's going on.
But that was, we were both noobs. I mean, I still consider myself a noob. I don't know anything. I'm just along for the ride, and I help out when I can.
He does awesome.
Because this is, it's not my bag, baby. I'm along for the ride.
Something funny too, the difference between, one of the differences between us, Jason is very much a minimalist, and you know, he doesn't want a lot of stuff. He's very neat and organized. The garage, he was like, I don't care what you do, but I want to be able to park him in the garage. And we have a 2-car garage, so it works out well. But my side of the garage is packed full of stuff. That's where I keep my inventory. He has helped me get that organized and get that arranged in a way that we don't lose product when it sells. But he deals with a lot of clutter. Yep. And stuff. I mean, when you're dealing with these pallets, you've seen in the unboxing the thousands of like individual items that have to be processed. Well, it takes up a big amount of space, I would say, in our living room area. We keep waiting for one of these kids to grow up and move out so that I can have my own room. I can't wait. I can't wait for the kids to leave, and I want grandbabies. So, you know, you shouldn't wish time away, but it's like,
it's coming.
Give me a room and give me grandbabies.
Yep. What was it, Mimi and Pop-Up? I think so. I like that.
Yeah. And
Kara got me this hat today off eBay.
Yeah.
Yingling. Love it.
It's a trucker hat. Turn to this side, baby.
I've never had a trucker hat, and I love it. I just got it, today?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I do. That's another bad habit of mine probably is I just, when I'm posting things on eBay, I also start shopping on eBay, and I'll be like, you know that movie you like? Let's see if there's any t-shirts. And we bought one.
I wish Dad had come today. I'd have it on.
I know.
Teddy KGB, Rounders.
We do like to gamble. I mentioned that. We like to gamble a bit.
Yep.
I did buy a t-shirt from one of the fellow resellers, Froggy Flips. His wife has MS, and they're selling t-shirts to generate money for the organization, the National Organization for the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. And I did purchase one, so maybe the next video I do, I'll be wearing it and
cool.
Trying to drum up some business. All right, well, that's all I had. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
He didn't want to do this necessarily, but I was
day
like,
drinking.
Yeah, he is. I mean, we're not going anywhere. I'm day drinking as well. I've got my Coffee Crossing. If you're ever in the southern Indiana area, Coffee Crossing, it's a little local chain. Our daughter's a barista there. It's fantastic. I mean, I don't want to say other company names, but I think it's the best coffee place around. I truly
they don't pay
do.
us to say that.
No, I wish they did.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Please pay us to say that.
But they're amazing. They're really good. All right, that's it. Lucy says goodbye. Say goodbye, Lucy.
Not happening.
All right. All right, till next time. See y'all.
Bye, y'all.